What's going on, ladies and gents? It's your boy Darth. We are in Queensblade Limit Break, and we got another video coming to you today. We are going to be going over the brand new warrior, the brand new SP warrior, and it happens to be a break warrior, Leina, the Moonlit Warrior. We've seen this name before. One of the ultimate warriors is actually the Moonlit Attendant. This is the Moonlit Warrior, Leina, and she is a tank. They are continuing with their trend of dropping the SP tanks. We had the dual attribute tank recently, and actually she's already making a second run. She is in the arrival system, so if you don't have her, check out my overview of her. She's actually a solid tank, fits in really well with the dual attributes, but we're not here to go over her necessarily. We will be touching on the tanks, but we are going over the Moonlit Warrior, Leina, the SP Break Warrior tank. The look it's actually kind of awesome for as simple as it is. Everybody knows, like when I did my overview of B9L, that I like the floating headdresses and the floating accessories on the warriors, and I look for them to kind of lean into that. She has a simple look. I'm not sure I like the little rings here. It is what it is. She's got a little bow here that I thought was just a head dressing, but it's not. It's like a shadow butterfly. It's cool. What I like about her is not so subtly. She likes big swords, if you get my meaning. I like that she likes big swords. It tells me she can handle herself in battle, if you understand what I mean. Anyways, her simple look is awesome. I like the girder belt here. The color scheme is good. I like her hair. The head dressing is really cool. This little moonlit back thing that she's got going on really fits into her overall look. Her spicy pose, again, takes the cake here. She looks like she's been doing battle. She vanquished all of her foes with nothing. Her clothes were intact. And then all of a sudden, the big bad walked out. The big bad Darth walked in front of her and scared her with his big long sword. And she's like, ah, no, my clothes are melting off. And you're not fooling me either, ladies. I know I go over this stuff every time I hit the spicy pose, so you should know what to expect. Every lady would love for the man to just scare their clothes right off, right? I don't know. Anyways, it's a really cool spicy pose. Her armor just is gone. She's in battle. She doesn't look like it came off because of battle. She just got really scared and just took off her overclothes for some reason and got hit by a ray blast or something, and they're just melting off. But her spicy pose is actually kind of cool. I'm just trying to figure out what happened to her. Anyways, let's get into her skills here. Her basic passive, she gets a 50% increase to HP, 30% increase to defense. However, she has a natural damage resistance of 15%, meaning that she has a 15% all damage resistance, which is cool. She has another ability at the beginning of the turn. Her own max HP increases by 12% at the beginning of the turn. So each turn, her HP actually goes up to a maximum of 60%, which actually can be a lot of HP. At the end of the turn, she also heals for 40% of her own HP. Now keep in mind, again, this is at max star rank, which is technically 10, even though it shows 12. At 10 star, level 81, you get all the benefits. So there's a lot going on here in her passive. She gets a huge HP and defense bonus to anything added to her HP and defense. She has a 15% additional damage resistance, which is all damage resistance. She increases her HP each turn up to 60% and heals up to 40% of her own HP. That's actually pretty good. Now, I've been hearing a lot of the different things before I made this video. A lot of people called her a flop. A lot of people say she sucks. I'm going to reserve my judgment until the end after we take a look at some things before I actually kind of give you my opinion. So what I want to do is go to her first one here. Triggers on turn 1, 2-turn cooldown. She will deal fixed damage equal to 16% of max HP to 3 enemies. Guys, that's one of the highest max HP damages in the game. To 3 random enemies, which ignores damage resist, obviously, ignores defense, and it does not crit. 16% of the max HP is actually pretty good damage on a 2-turn cooldown. Now, a secondary effect, she resets the accumulated damage on herself with the Adventurer's Meditation. Well, Adventurer's Meditation is a passive skill that when she takes damage from an attack, including damage taken from Ray of Moonlight, we'll go over that in just a second, she will only take 40% of that damage. And the remaining damage will be applied in increments over 30%, in increments of 30% over the next couple of rounds. So she's going to take the hit, she's only going to take 40% of the damage, and then she's going to stack that damage in the background and take it over the next 2 turns. That's why she's classified as fixed damage spread, which is not exactly the definition of the damage spread. There is a warrior in the game, I think it's a dual warrior, or it's a physical warrior, a skill. It's one of those warriors. I should have looked at it before. There is a warrior who actually takes all damage, that will apply an effect that will spread the damage out amongst the entire team, which reduces the amount of damage. And now that I think about it, I kind of want to put all the tanks together with that warrior, because we have some really good tanks now in the game, create an impenetrable wall. But anyways, I digress. So taking damage from an attack, including Ray of Moonlight, she will only take so much damage and then spread it out. Now, brings us to Lunar Veil, where she will cast Ray of Moonlight. At the start of the turn, she grants Ray of Moonlight for 3 turns to all allies. It does not apply to her, but she's going to apply Ray of Moonlight to her allies. That cannot be removed. Again, we're starting to see this trend where skills that are being triggered can't be removed for one reason or the other, limiting the effect of the dominant rune skill in the game, advanced removal. Ray of Moonlight basically means that she will take 50% of the damage received, excluding some special damage, insta-death, burn, curse. I don't like that. I think that insta-death is great, but I don't like it. I've started to see this on a couple of the tanks now, where special damage such as burn and curse and things like that aren't subject to the tank's defenses and things like that, to some degree. With one exception, Sheildaly, which is one of the best tanks in the game, does actually reduce damage from burns and curses and things like that. Not really sure why they're doing that. Maybe just giving a unique effect to certain warriors in the game. But anyways, Ray of Moonlight, 3 warriors for 3 turns, has a 4-turn cooldown. This is a passive skill. It still triggers, which I want to say that because it's a passive, it is subject to seal. So you can actually, with BNL and Swift Tracer, prevent that from happening, assuming you can get seal to go off. Now, basically, she interrupts damage. What happens is she casts Ray of Moonlight, and then when an ally is attacked, she will actually intercept 50% of the damage. Now, keep in mind, she only takes 40% of the damage, and then applies it over the next couple of turns. I'm not sure I like this kind of warrior where the damage spreads. However, remember, if you go back to her Lunar Slash ability on turn 1, 2-turn cooldown, she will reset the accumulated damage on herself. I will admit, I still don't know what that means. I think it looks like it cancels it all out, meaning that she's actually a fairly decent tank for intercepting damage. Now, this is not the only intercepting damage tank we have. I really like the physical tank here. Where's she at? Where's my girl? Right here. She actually is a better interceptor of damage because she will intercept all damage. And if all allies are below 50% at a certain time, she will intercept all damage for all allies, assuming she's not frozen. So I think when it comes to intercepting damage, Red Hood here, Zara, is better, even though she is a break attribute tank. Now, that's my opinion on her. Overall, I don't see her getting a lot of use. I think people are going to be confused by her skills. Like I said, I don't know if that first ability resets the cooldown when it goes in. I like the fact that she increases her max HP, which would make more sense if, like some of the other tanks, she actually provided a shield to her allies that increased based on her HP, because some tanks do that. Now, it does follow the theme of a break attribute. A lot of break warriors have natural damage resistance. They are known as a assault attribute. where you can stack the entire team with assault-related warriors, and they have some form of damage resistance. Be Nanelle, Spicy Pirate, be Alyssa, the new break warrior here. So I'm not sure where she really fits in terms of synergy with the break attribute. Other than that, she is capable of putting out massive amounts of damage because it's fixed and it's 16% of HP, but I still don't see her getting a lot of play, mainly because I think, again, people are confused. Now, when you go into the trial, she's up against the dual attribute, which is the natural enemy of the break attribute. They get a damage bonus and a damage resistance, which basically cancels it out anyways. Now, this team setup right here has the ability to reduce the max HP, and that is something that the dual attribute warrior actually does. I'm spooling here. I'm not sure why. Oh, there we go. So I'm not saying that she was designed specifically for the dual, because the dual attribute actually will reduce the max HP of the enemy team all the way up to, I think it's 40 or 60%, which is huge. And when I was playing around with dual before, I actually seen the health bar go down quite substantially in testing against the break in testing my break team against an enemy team. It's actually kind of cool to see that happen. But I can't see her being designed just to take on that particular aspect of the dual attribute. Let's just go ahead and click the battle here. So as you can see, Moonlit is actually going off. This little shield that you have here means that she will intercept 50% of the damage when the enemy team is attacked. You'll get to see that here in just a second. But overall, and there she goes. She just takes it and then she stacks it. I will continue to test it and see if she resets that damage, basically clearing her stacks of damage, which would make her a really good tank. Now, another interesting tidbit here is that break and dual attribute tanks have a naturally higher speed at max rank and defense they actually have a higher stat pool than the others. 2009 speed and 3134 defense for the break and dual attribute tanks versus someone like the mind and physical attribute tanks who aren't nearly that high. So for some reason the dual and break attribute tanks have higher natural stats on SP warriors than the other ones do. I'm not sure that I necessarily agree with that. And not only that, but they get a higher HP and defense bonus, whereas on the other attributes it's 45 and 25 respectively. So they get a healthier HP and defense increase, not just speed and attack, when you add HP and defense to them. Let me know what you guys think of this particular warrior. I think she's okay. Don't break the bank going for her. I don't see her getting a lot of use. She is not better, okay? Even from a break standpoint, she is not better than Bloom, and she is not better than Sheildaly. These are the two best tanks, in my opinion, in the game for damage mitigation and helpfulness on any given team, although I do think Zara gets overlooked for the fact that she can intercept all damage for your team, and if you have a high evasion, she can actually evade the attack. I think people overlook her on that particular front. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section of this particular warrior. Are you going to pull for her? How far are you going to go for her? I think I'm just going to do the standard 9 that I usually do, unlike the spicy pose as well. And then I will take, since this is for her first edition, I will go ahead and summon with gems to see how many more copies and shards I can get for her. That's it, guys. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section. Like, comment, and subscribe. I do want to point out one bonus tip here is that we are getting... Yagui is making her first official appearance outside of an event coming up. And we're getting 2 new warriors, guys. A new mind attribute and physical attribute warrior. If this update is accurate, we don't need new warriors right now, G123, so look forward to that upcoming. Until next time, guys, I'll see you in the next one.